Mother Dave, we meet again.
Kirkster.
How you liking the podcast thing? I mean,
It's cool. I like it when people tell me they listen and they like learn something or they didn't know I did this or that.
Yeah.
So, I like that people are listening to it, and, I like hanging out with you, and, and you've got a good insight on things. And so I think it's fun. I think it can grow, and excited to have our first special guest. So
that's going to be pretty crazy, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. When I go to Mother's North and I see Alvin, who's been there forever.
Yeah.
He lets you know when I'm in there. I was in there checking some trivia out over the weekend. Chris Like-a-Lot, he used to work at the radio station, doing this Disney trivia. People got Mickey Mouse ears running around, working there.
Yeah.
It's a whole production.
It is a production. Obviously everybody loves Disney.
Yeah.
And we're doing these themed trivia now at both locations in Arnold and in Timonium. And it was packed. We had a slamming day on Saturday, and people are excited about it. So it's something cool, something you can bring your kids to. And people are looking for different types of entertainment, and that seemed to be one that's working.
I love it. He'd be like, and the answer is Cruella. And you hear, oh, yeah, over in the corner. Somebody's all excited because they got it right.
Yeah, and Alvin's the man. Alvin's been doing a great job running the Timonium North location. He started off in Federal Hill. He's been with us probably for over 15 years now.
Yeah.
And he's come a long way, and he's doing a great job, and we're lucky to have him, and does a great job at North. It's a big animal up there.
Who plays Alvin in the movie? Come on. Come on.
Well, one time they accused us of being Tenacious D.
Yeah.
Him being Jack Black and me being the other dude.
Oh.
So we said we need to go see Tenacious D.
Right.
Us two in concert. So Jack Black.
You stop out to Mother's North and you tell me you don't look like Johnny Depp. I'm telling you.
In the Pirates. Because he's got dreads and all that stuff. So
happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Yeah. February 27th.
February 29th.
What's up with that leap year thing, man? That is so messed up. I know.
Pisces brothers. I think it's cool. I'm blessed, and I feel like every day is my birthday.
Yeah.
But to have a special birthday every 4 years, it's cool to just conversation piece and just do something a little different and say I'm really 14 and a quarter.
You could celebrate on the 28th or March 1st.
Or both.
Or both, yeah.
Both.
What do you get Mother Dave for your birthday? Whatever you want, you already have.
Yes, I am blessed, and like I said, every day is my birthday. I didn't ask for anything, I was lucky enough to spend it on our boat in the Caribbean and with good friends and family and just enjoying life. So you can't ask for more than that.
When you were little Dave running around out in Hyattsville or wherever the hell,
Bowie,
did you expect to be vacationing in the Caribbean on your own boat?
No, it's I pinch
surreal.
myself.
Yeah.
It's surreal. I can't believe it. From running a restaurant to, just being extremely lucky and being able to enjoy all these finer things in life. It's, I pinch myself a lot, and especially when I'm on the boat, and it's just, it's really cool, and I'm really thankful.
I'm the president of the Black Eastern Shore Yachtsmen's Club.
Nice.
It's a small group.
Yes.
Look, they tell me when you get a boat, you're just throwing money. The best day is when you get the boat, and then the best day is when you sell the boat. What have you learned about boat ownership?
Well, I've had a boat here. We live in Pasadena on the water, so I've had a boat. I moved in. I'm like, I don't really need a boat. And the first weekend, it was Memorial Day, and all the boats were going out. I'm like, I got to get a boat. and I didn't really have any experience. I started real small, and there was a boat dealership like right up on my street, like 2 miles from my house.
Right.
Really cool people, AM/PM Marine. And they had this program where if you bought a boat and then upgraded within 1 year, you got 100% return on your first boat.
Yeah.
So I did that like 4 times.
Right.
So I got to learn, and they helped me. And I'm not the best captain, but it's all about just being safe. For the first couple of years, if it's a new boat, you don't have a lot of problems.
Yeah.
It's after year 5, that's when things start breaking down and maintenance. And, when you buy a used boat, you get a lot of maintenance issues. And luckily I've been able to get a new one every year so I could pass that along and not have as much maintenance. So.
You got a slow boat, or could you pull some skiers behind you.
Yeah. I pull my son around on it, and he does wakeboarding, and we can do a tube and all that stuff, and he loves that, and so it can go like 40 knots. It's got pretty good speed to it, and we can get across the bay, and we just like go out and hanging on it, watching the sunset, getting some crabs, going over to Wallace's Crab House,
That
on
sounds
the eastern
great.
shore, and Kent Island, that's a lot of fun. So I love being on the water. Pisces.
Chicken of the sea, bro. That's what they called me back in the day, like Charlie the Tuna. What was your message to your kids when you go somewhere out of country, like a Caribbean nation? You've got this girl missing from the Dominican Republic now. They could probably spot you as being United States of America as soon as you get off the plane.
Yeah.
Is there a message to your kids when they're out without you?
Well, yeah, I always want them to be safe and make good decisions, you know. But kids are kids. They're gonna make, some, mistakes in judgment. But I try to, we've been going, we had a house in St. John for, 15 years. They kind of grew up there. They've been going there their whole life. So they figure it out and they feel comfortable. But, we've gone to some third world countries, Nicaragua. We had to cross the border between Costa Rica and Nicaragua. Wow. Not an easy thing to do and kind of sketchy. But, I think once they do it a lot, they're more comfortable doing it. We went to Brazil a couple times. It can get sketchy there.
How so? The police pull you aside, want to chat?
No, it's just people looking to rob you. They look as tourists. They grab your iPhone. I mean, it's a poor country. I mean, if you go into, like anywhere, if you go in a bad neighborhood late night or if you're by yourself, you could get jumped. And we never had a problem. And, and we're with the family. We're not going out to 2 a.m. and in bad situations.
I would be.
Yeah. I mean, if we were going single and all that stuff, but, we never did that. So we were always around a lot of people, and the Brazilian people were very friendly and hospitable, and we loved it there. And my kids loved it, and it's a trip of a lifetime. And you just, get to experience a new culture and a different culture where they don't really have as much possessions as we do, but they might be happier than we are.
How badass is that, though, to your kids get a little world flavor?
Yeah. And
they can respect what they have here after seeing what people don't have other places.
Yeah, there's nothing like traveling, especially out of the country. And, I feel fortunate to be able to do that. It's just, it really opens your eyes, and it just teaches you about life and other cultures. And, and it's just a cool thing to be able to experience. And they're very appreciative of that.
What do they call it? Carnival. And the girls with the big booties in Brazil. Yeah. That's a reason to go, at least for somebody like me.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Like Rio de Janeiro, it's a beautiful beach.
Got Jesus on the mountain hanging out.
Jesus on the mountain. Yeah. And then it's like you got the business district and the skyscrapers right there at the edge of the beach. It's all right downtown. So you got the beach and downtown right next to each other.
You got a little Spanish in you?
It's Portuguese.
Okay. You can tell I've not been to Brazil.
I know about 2 or 3 words, but Google Translate is a beautiful thing.
Oh, yeah.
Needed that.
And English. Sure. If you got English and some money, you could get around no matter what. But they do like to hear you give it a shot.
No question. And that you're trying. And obviously Portuguese is a lot different. My kids know a little Spanish. I'm not great at it. And it's a little bit easier in Spanish-speaking countries. Portuguese was a little more difficult, but it made it kind of exciting and a challenge. Yeah. Communicating. But it got a little hairy at times too. So.
Google Translate.
Yeah.
Hey, tell us a little bit about our special guest, Cris Jacobs. He's going to be coming up in a bit.
Yeah, Cris Jacobs is a local musician, great friend, great guy. Known him for, like 25 plus years now. He started off in the band The Bridge that toured the country and has got a lot of great material. Yeah. Then he kind of went off solo. He's been doing his own thing for a while, and has come out with an album recently and has played the Grand Old Opry, and he's opened up for Little Feat and touring the country, different stages around. So great musician, great guy. Real excited to have him here.
Have you ever managed bands?
No, never really.
And why?
I've been busy running restaurants and running the Funk Box.
Yeah.
Wasn't really, it's a young person's game, somebody that's completely devoted to it. And I've been, focused on mothers.
Your tentacles are in music in a bunch of different ways, just not in that way.
Yeah, I do I'm more of a promoter. I mean, not like Paul Manna or Tim Walther, but, I'm doing a show at Record Theater with Paul Manna with some New Orleans guys that are coming through town, George Porter Jr. and John Grow, May 29th.
Yeah.
So I just like to, do a little promotions or help bands coming through town that need a gig, and basically just throw a party and have some fun. And, if I can help musicians, whether it's the Bridge or Chris, I'll help them try to make their thing happen and get down the road. A lot of these bands in New Orleans need a date in between DC and New York,
Philly or whatever.
Yeah, just to fill out their calendar.
Well, you're a great advocate for not only musicians like Chris here, but those great musicians in New Orleans that come through and need a spot to play or some advice or whatever. I'm sure you're a big help to those people.
Or a free meal.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm they're great guys. They're easy to do it for. They're super humble. They put everything they can into their craft and into their music. And if I can help, I feel like I benefit from getting to listen to it and keeping it going and keeping it going for the future. So whatever I can do to help them keep their careers going and their passion for music and keep touring, I want to try to do.
They know. And hey, appreciate y'all finding us again here on the Mother's Podcast. And special guest coming up. Special guest among us, musician extraordinaire, Baltimorean, Cris Jacobs.
Hey,
without the C, how did
without the H?
Without the H, exactly.
Yeah.
Because my real name is Chris.
Really?
Yeah, and then I've always, and it's CHRIS.
Okay, yeah.
Had to change it because of Chris Emery at 100.7 The Bay. When I got the job, I was 19. He was in his 30s.
Wow.
So they said, good news, bad news. You got to change your name. So I just came up with, I wanted to be the captain, Kirk McEwen. They're like, you forget the captain. You won't be Kirk, you be Kirk. But yeah, it's a different way to spell your name.
Well, I was in elementary school. I remember there were 6 Chris's in my class.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to spell mine differently.
So for real?
So it's on my birth certificate with an H.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
That's. Hey, did you know that?
I did not know
Fun
that.
fact.
You could have gone Chris Christopherson with a K.
That's true.
Hey,
I like it.
tell us about how you made it from being a kid in your bedroom strumming guitar to going on tour with bands like Steve Winwood and Little Feat. How did you get some sea legs?
Well, lots of practice for sure, and then just grinding away. Just really committing to it because it's been a journey. But started out with the Bridge, and that sort of got the engine going.
What year
for
was
me.
that?
That was 2001, and
At the same time, we started the Funk Box.
That's right. That's right. We had just kind of started. We were rehearsing down the street. Kenny lived in Federal Hill, right down the street from where they were redoing the Funk Box, and we used to rehearse and walk over there and be like, "Hey, we'd love to play here when we get it together."
And play there you did.
We did,
probably played there more than anybody else. Is that?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think I have, between the Bridge and then all the other side things I've done there and my own projects and everything. And yeah, it was perfect because we were 23, 24 years old. All our friends were the same age, and new club opening, new band, and it was just, we sort of developed this scene.
When did the
Community.
Bridge,
Yeah.
when did the Bridge give way to Cris Jacobs solo?
Well, I guess our first breakup, our first last show was in 2011.
Okay.
It was the 10-year to the day
It's a good
anniversary of our first, because our first gig was the night before Thanksgiving, so that's how that became like the big tradition.
Yeah.
So 2011 was when we decided we were kind of not touring anymore and we were retiring, so to speak. And we didn't even know if we were going to play again. But since then, we have, obviously, a couple times. But that's when I kind of decided to still give it a go.
Dude, Baltimore Magazine calls you the king of Baltimore rock and roll.
Yeah, one person writes something, and
That's heavy as
you
hell.
never live that down. I mean, it's like on my Wikipedia page or
But
something.
that's a beautiful thing.
That's a compliment.
It's
no
very
question
nice
about it.
It's
Yeah.
very nice. It's very nice. I mean, I don't know. I don't.
You're humble as hell too.
Well, it's
Yeah.
Baltimore's been good to me. Everybody asks me like why I've stayed here. Yeah, it's being a musician. Like,
Yeah.
what am I doing here? But it's served me well.
What is it about a room like the Funk Box that drew you to it and you kind of made it your place?
Dave can attest to this. It just has a vibe in there. Like it's such a intimate, but still a rockin' place. But it's still intimate, where like you're feeling the connection to the fans. They're surrounding you over top. And,
Yeah.
And like I said, we were all the same. It was a perfect age for something like that to happen for us. Us and all our community was like in our 20s, and
Yeah.
basically how we spent our 20s.
And you built a community. I mean, that's one of the cool things about it, is that it's still there.
Yeah.
I mean, they're kind of, everyone's older now and's got kids and, real jobs, but whenever they play, they're coming back together because, one, they got great music and a great catalog, but two, it's just such a vibe with your friends and family that maybe you haven't seen for a couple months because the Bridge hasn't played, or there hasn't been any good shows that you connected with. So that is a unique thing in the community that the Bridge built. I think is going to last forever.
What about when that place gets sold? Do you worry about it changing direction or anything?
Yeah. I mean, I think we've been lucky to have it for as long as we have, and it's I don't know what's going to happen, but there's really nowhere else like it in town.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, there's other good venues, but there's nowhere else like it, where you can just like it's like you're sort of having like a personal party when you play there. It feels
A lot of
like
history in that place.
Yeah, no doubt.
A lot of history. And, shout out to Abigail and Brian, who've been the stewards of the club for the last 20 years.
Yes,
and
indeed.
have devoted their life and put a ton of hard work into that. And they're looking to retire and move on. And there's a couple other groups that are interested, and we all want to see it stay live music. And I think that's what's going to happen. But it is available, so if anybody out there wants to take it on.
I can still remember Tiny denying
I
me
remember
back
Tiny
in the
and
day.
Duke.
Yeah,
And
I
Duke.
remember that's like when I was a youngin'
Yeah.
cutting my
Yeah.
teeth. I played there once or twice before
Wow.
it shut down. Yeah.
And then you find yourself on tour with a legend like Steve Winwood. I mean, Jesus, dude. Arc of a Diver and
I know.
While You See a Chance.
Higher Love.
Get some loving.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What did you call anything? Did you learn? Get a chance to pick his brain at all? What was that about?
Well, not. I didn't like. So hey, Steve, can you tell me this? But I just kind of like observed a lot and hung around and tried to be like as pleasant as possible so that they would want me around, and got some really good hang time with him just spontaneously and just watching him work. I mean, he's just the consummate professional, and it's like it was inspiring to see that and be like, what, one day, like when I'm in my 70s, I hope that I can still hit those high notes and take care of myself in the meantime and still practice. I mean, he was still practicing and still like so into the music.
You're Cris freaking Jacobs. Did you ever get imposter syndrome, thinking like, man, I wonder if they'll figure me out like I shouldn't be here
every day.
Isn't that crazy how much you've worked at it and still you think you might be found out?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, they keep, having me around. So,
Yeah.
I just, but yes, especially that was like kind of like the first big opportunity for me as a solo artist.
Yeah.
And I remember being like it happened like I was asked to open a gig at the Fillmore Silver Spring.
Yes.
They needed like a local guy to do it.
That's a nice room. I like it.
Yeah, it is. And he happened to watch my set, and it was basically like, would you like to do some more shows kind of thing.
wow.
Yeah, so that it was
Great compliment.
Yeah,
That's
man.
cool.
It's like I've had a few of those throughout the years. It's just like one little pat on the back like that can like propel
Yeah.
a couple years,
And those venues you played with them were just gorgeous.
Fox Theater in Oakland, and just like these epic places, people just sitting down and listening to every note. And
The first time I saw you was at Mother's.
Oh, cool.
You had some event and you brought up some old time, I mean, he was 80 some years old from New Orleans.
Oh, George Porter?
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
George Porter.
Well, I think that was the anniversary party with Dennis Chambers.
Yeah, yes.
Baltimore legend.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Ivan Neville.
How did you guys
George Porter.
bump into each other?
Me and Dave?
Yeah.
Well, I guess from, you owning the Funk Box back in the day and us hanging around there all the time and mothers and
Right. So it just grew from there.
yeah, that was it. I mean,
Yeah.
we became
I was a fan and a fan
You
first
gotta
and then a friend and
I'll call you back. Thanks.
yeah, but it's been like 25 years now.
Yeah.
And they were just a pleasure to be around and great music and great crowd and they end up doing some great residencies there every Wednesday and
Hey, and tell us about the Very Jerry that you do every year.
Yeah, every year around Jerry's birthday and then Christmas, we do like a multi-night run of Jerry Garcia music. And it started out. I remember it started out. I randomly had a solo bar gig at like the Green Turtle or something.
I was there.
Were you there? It was
Yeah.
August 1st, Jerry's birthday. And that day, I'm like, you know what? It's Jerry's birthday. I posted, something. Hey, I guess I'll play some Jerry tunes. And the place was just packed out. So I was like, wait a minute, maybe we could try something here.
It's got legs.
Yeah. So since then, it's been like 11, 12 years
And
running.
the late great Phil Lesh.
Yeah.
Come on, Chris. I mean, that's phenomenal.
That was something.
Explain
That was
how
something.
that came to be.
Well, I got offered a show. We did a show out when he owned this club out in San Rafael called Terrapin Crossroads. It was like a restaurant venue, and it was July 4th, and we were offered, we were going to be out there. Anyway, it was us and then the Phil Lesh, the Terrapin family band. It was like his son and a couple other people. Anyway, we opened for them, and I met Phil there, and that was it. Like it was just a meeting. He was very gracious, and then a couple months later, I was just like cutting the grass, and I got a phone call with the California number, and it was his manager asking if do you want to play the Hollywood Bowl with Phil and friends? Get the hell out of here! Yeah, Willie Nelson will be there, and Sturgill Simpson, and I was like, yeah. So yeah, so I did that, and then got invited for a few more after that. And,
Honey?
yeah.
How has being a father changed you as a musician and touring and everything?
Well, in a lot of ways, obviously. I mean, I don't take every single touring opportunity,
Right?
For better or worse, because you just can't. But it's made me really be responsible with my time, because it takes a lot of time to as a songwriter and as an instrumentalist, you got to devote hours and hours, and with the kids around, it's not always.
Was that done by design? Because you got into family life later.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. you were going to build this thing.
Yeah.
Before you put down some roots. And you were able to do both. I mean, it reminds me of a woman who has a career first, and then she has her
Martha
kids.
Stewart. She did that.
Yeah.
She was, but yeah, I mean, it's look, I'm still building. It's not like I'm sitting back retiring anytime soon. But no, it's just you have kids. It just makes everything complete. It sort of like just fills out the picture, gives everything like that extra meaning. It's not
gives
just
you
about,
motivation to
it's not just about you anymore.
to the grind.
Yeah, you want to be a good person. You want to be responsible. You want to be successful. You don't just want to totally mess around and
Dude, you're playing with Little Feat in May at the Capitol Theater in Port Chester, New York. I remember I was coming back from South Carolina. I was 12 years old when Lowell George died, and I knew who he was, and I was upset.
My parents were at the show that night in American University.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they read in the paper the next morning that he had died.
Yeah. So,
I know.
That's going to be
It's heavy, yeah. I mean, most of the original guys aren't there. There's a couple, but they sound amazing. I don't know if you've heard them lately, but I wasn't sure, knowing the members that had died, how it was going to sound, but they sound incredible. I'm super excited.
That should
great
be
to
fun.
have you.
Yeah.
And you're also doing Garcia's.
Yeah, they opened up a new Garcia's. It's like another Pete Shapiro place in Chicago. Doing a gig out there, like basically right after that tour, and then playing Merriweather this summer with the Bridge. Our last show.
Our last show.
All good now.
All good now, yeah.
Well, it's great to have you here. It's
great to be here.
Hang out. We're going to talk a little more Baltimore-ese.
Let's do it.
Yeah. More to come on the Mother's Podcast. Hard to believe, man. It's been a couple of months. Mother's Federal Hill Grill is in the rearview mirror.
Yep.
So Mother's North and Mother's Peninsula are rolling on. They got a menu item, Chris, the Bridge, on the Mother's menu. What's that about?
The Bridge Buffalo Shrimp. Well, we all liked it so much and ordered it like every single time.
Like 8 orders.
Yeah. So
That's
I think
cool.
it was like Big Dave's Buffalo Shrimp.
It was
at first,
Big Dave's,
and
yeah,
He
it was.
relinquished.
you switched it
I
up.
changed it over.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
pretty soon they're going to be calling the what do I get? The stir fry. It's got the rice in the middle of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you get some chicken thrown in there, or
Yeah.
shrimp, bunch of vegetables. That's what I usually get when I'm
Is
in
that
there.
like the Chipotle chicken and shrimp? Is that what that?
This is a stir fry. It's
a
a
stir
stir
fry,
fry, but
okay.
there is a chipotle chicken and shrimp, which
Yeah.
is.
I think I've had
that's
everything
heavy.
on the
That's
menu.
heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get a discount since you're Cris Jacobs?
I mean, yes, I would definitely say that Dave has taken good care of me, and that if we play at the 8x10, that's where we're ordering dinner, and it's always on the house, which is wonderful.
What do you owe to the longevity of the staff, Dave? I mean, you don't have a 401k and a health plan for everybody. I mean, but people seem to stick around for a long time that work there.
I guess because we care. We care about them. We care about their lives, and it's more than just a job. We try to make it. It's a family. It's a place you can feel at home. So we go out of our way for the staff, help them with family problems, or give them a loan, or help them find a place to live, or a second job, or whatever it is. And we just try to take care of the people that are there. Taking care of our guests.
Do you know most of the people that work at the restaurants?
Yeah.
My son, his favorite guy is Tag.
Tag's hilarious. He is hilarious. We get more reviews about Tag.
He's awesome.
He has got a lot of personality. He's a great
one's he
server. He's at
He's got
North.
like a mohawk and a
Okay.
big hoop earring,
And
and
glasses.
Air Jordans on.
He's always wearing crazy attire.
Yeah.
I get literally like at least once a week, I get a positive review. And one recently was, Tag is raw and real. And he made my dining experience much more than just about the food.
He'll see us, and we'll be at another table, and he'll be like, "Oh, hey!" And he'll come over and kneel down and talk to us for a little while, and then go back and do what he's doing. But stuff like that you just don't get everywhere.
He's a great guy, great server. He's really good at it. He was working as a full-time career, and with the pandemic, it kind of went away. So he came and served, and he makes good money, and he's really good at it. And
What's up, Tag?
he's a pleasure to have there.
Yeah, man. So, what is your favorite menu item, Dave?
That's a good question,
Because
Kirk.
I mean,
that's a good question.
everything on there has been tested by you.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fresh fish. We have a soy glazed tuna that's on there that's really good. I get this charred black pepper tuna salad that we have that's really good. I like our Cubano.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Our boneless wings, our wings are really good. I mean, we make everything from scratch, so we put a lot of love in everything, and it's all pretty good. It kind of depends on what your mood is.
Right. Do you have a favorite of the 2 restaurants that are left? Come on.
I mean, obviously the busier one might be,
Good answer.
our favorite, but they're both great, and we have great people at them both, and they both have different vibes. But it's it's cool to get a Anne Arundel County vibe and a Baltimore County vibe, and
Right.
the Mother's North location with the outdoor patio has really exploded over the last couple years, and it's fun to go up there, and it's got a good staff up there, and the kitchen's killing it up there, and so that's been a lot of fun. And down in Arnold, it's got more of that water community vibe, and it's a lot of families, and we do great down there. But it's been real steady for 10 years down there. So.
I love driving by the one on Ritchie Highway at like 12 in the morning on Sunday, and you see a couple cars that have been left from the night before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're still sitting there in the morning. There's somebody hooked up at Mother's.
Yeah. Well, funny story. Back before Uber, we couldn't get any cabs there. We couldn't, people couldn't, get home if they had too much to drink. So then we bought a van, started driving people home like a little
That's
bus.
crazy.
Wow.
Because no one could get home. And then we're worried about them drinking and driving. And,
Right.
then with Uber, all of a sudden we didn't need the bus anymore. Everyone wanted to take Uber, and it was people could get home safe and leave their car.
Good service though. Not all restaurants do that.
Yeah, it was cool. I'm surprised it didn't take off more than it did. We didn't do many pickups.
Yeah.
But yeah, if people had a few too many and they needed a ride, we'd give them a ride.
It's almost like a car dealer. You got the shuttle and
Yeah,
take you
right.
while your car's getting worked on. Nobody does that.
Right.
Yeah, that's excellent. So when you go back on the road, how long are you out, Chris? I'm just wondering.
It varies. This past year, 2024, I put out an album, so I hit it pretty hard, and I was
Right.
out for like 2-3 weeks at a time, and then come home for a bit, and then go back out and do that. So, but right now this year, it's been a little lighter intentionally, and so I do a lot of like 3-day weekends.
Yeah.
And which is great. Being in Baltimore, it's I can go up the coast, down the coast, Midwest in a day. So
How do you keep your nutrition at a certain level when you're on the road in all these different places? How do you find
it's a good question. Yeah.
food
It's
to eat that's not McDonald's?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I definitely don't eat McDonald's. We really try to eat not fast food, and I just try to seek out healthier options. And really, the thing that's the killer is the after the gig hunger.
Right.
Is the killer. The between the munchies and having just played 2
Right.
hours, if a pizza was in front of me, I could house half of it easily at midnight. So that's the problem.
Are you eating at midnight, Dave?
No, I'm asleep by then most of the time. but yeah, I'm not.
It's hard. That's the temptation.
It
really.
is. Right, man. 10 o'clock. Oh, man. You eat something at 10 and then lay down, lights out.
Yeah.
But then you're hating it the next day.
Totally.
Right. Wow.
No, but I mean, the older we get, it's like I have to be really conscious of that. Otherwise, it's like I'll feel like shit, or like
Yeah.
get
And I'm from here, and I still stop at McDonald's and stuff all the
yeah,
time.
nice.
Which I'm trying to stop, but it's
Yeah.
hard, man. They get you when you're 5 years old with the Happy Meal, and I remember when I was a
lock
kid.
you in.
Yeah, they had the $5 cheeseburgers or something.
yeah.
Got like 10 of them. But yeah, they get you at an early age, and then it's hard
Yep.
to shake it
Yep.
later on.
Yep.
So that's what you got to do, Dave. Hook them in.
Yeah, we're trying. I don't know if we got the McDonald's hook yet.
That's
but
like crack, man. It's
it's
like,
like
Yeah.
crack. Their fries.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
The mother's
crazy.
Happy Meal. I've been drinking Palomas at your place now.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah.
I like a
I
Paloma.
knew nothing about them, but you guys make a good one. Are you familiar with the Paloma?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we just created a new drink list. We got a bunch of different things on there, and then we kind of change them based on the season.
Yeah.
If it's more like the winter Christmas season with some hot ciders.
Yeah,
and
there's that extra menu that comes out, tells you what's
Yeah.
up with the spring.
we're doing some really good espresso martinis.
And just to jump all around, what about the sale of the Funk Box? Is that moving along, or
The 8x10, yeah, it's moving along. I mean, they're trying to make it happen, but it's got to be the right. There's different groups that are interested.
Okay.
and they want to keep it live music. So, fingers crossed.
That's very noble of them to like.
what else would you
it's
do?
a labor of
Chris?
love.
I mean, what else would be in that space?
I don't
An
know.
office building?
well, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you could do a sports bar.
That's what
you
I'm saying.
could-
The live music,
You could do a DJ dance club.
right?
Don't give them ideas.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure
they got
people are
'em.
thinking about them. Yeah, I mean, and it's basically it's got to be a person that loves live music and is dedicated to it.
Right.
It's not just I'm going to get rich off it. It's a labor of love. It's got to be a passion, and yeah, you can make money and you can make a living, but it's more of a long-term thing, and you got to be prepared to maybe break even to get to where you can actually make some money. And I think if you own the building and you're there for a while, you can make some money.
Do you feel like Baltimore is back? Do you feel like it's welcoming again, where people feel safe to go downtown?
I think we still got some room to go on making it safer.
And changing the perception.
And the perception is a big part of it. And, I'm not an easy thing to do. I mean, no easy answers. So I'm glad I'm not the mayor, but it's, I think there's some room for it to be better.
Yeah.
Well, that's an understatement.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of boomers, no offense, guys, who say that they won't go downtown to go to dinner or anything. They just won't go in the city anymore.
Well, I think I might be Gen X. I'm right there on the cusp. I'd rather be whatever's after the baby
Gen
boomer.
X,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's me.
right. Okay. So, all right, listen.
I mean, I love Baltimore,
Yeah.
and always will. And, but now I look behind me more. I pay attention, especially later at night.
Yeah.
And it is harder to get people to go down. I mean, we go down, we go out to dinner, go to, a show at the Hippodrome or, games and stuff.
What's the answer, Dave? Is it more of a police presence
I think so.
on the corners of Fed Hill and Canton and that
Fells Point?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think more police, it's a deterrent. And I think the police have, because they have that decree, the Justice Department decree, they're apprehensive. And, unless it's like a major crime, they kind of don't want to get involved.
It's like Fells Point. People were acting a fool. I'd get out there with the wood shampoo, like, get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get some justice going on. Let's go.
Yes. So, I mean, they got a tough job.
Yes.
So, I understand some of the thinking, but I just think there's some times where they see things or they could get out of their car and move people along or, stop some foolishness that's going on.
No, I don't want my window washed. I mean, and that's calmed down a lot.
It has.
But
That
I
has.
won't take Martin Luther King Boulevard out of the city because I know when I get at one of those lights, it's going to be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
it's
mean,
like,
personally,
nah,
I've
dude.
never had an issue with those guys.
Yeah.
Ever. Like, if ever I've just waved
Take
them off.
Martin Luther
they
King
wave
Boulevard every day.
Yeah, just like a lot of people talk about, some bad experiences. And luckily, knock on wood,
Yeah.
I haven't had any either. I normally, even if I don't get it done, I try to just give them $1. So, we're on their good graces.
I'm
but
like, I don't have any money. I got Venmo. I was like,
Yeah.
damn.
I know.
You got Venmo.
Somebody told me they took their phone out to Venmo them and they took their phone and Venmoed themselves $500 and gave it back to them or something.
yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
No, don't do that.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, this has been great. Thanks a
Good
lot.
talking
for
to you
your
guys,
insights.
man.
Good
Thanks
luck
for
with
having
everything,
me.
Chris, man.
Appreciate you.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. The Mother's Podcast.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for everything you do, Dave. Mothers, patronize mothers
Mothers.
as much as you can.
Please.
Get in there.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. So Baltimore Ravens, Baltimore Orioles. Let's start with the Ravens since they're in the rearview mirror and the Orioles are coming up. Suggs and Yonda not going to make it to the Hall of Fame.
Not
At least
this
on
year.
The first, yeah,
Not
they'll
this
get
year.
first ballot.
They'll get there.
Yeah. Are you more of an Orioles fan or a Ravens fan or?
I'd probably say Ravens.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I was obsessed with the Orioles.
Yeah.
But they sort of, a bunch of years, call me a somewhat fair weather fan over the years. That sort of faded a little bit, but I'm into it.
Yeah.
I am into them.
Well, they have flipped the script and now they're viable again.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Yeah.
hey, Justin Tucker. I didn't see that coming.
I don't know who
No
who
pun
did.
intended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ba-dum-bum.
That was one of the safe jerseys you could get,
Right.
Yes.
Who's not going to get
Yes.
into the wrong part of the newspaper?
I mean-
and it was him until
Yeah.
just recently. And we had a guy call the radio station and said, my wife was at a salon in Columbia. This was like a month or two before it happened. And he said, Justin Tucker's wife was there and she was upset. And then he called back after this came out and said, I told you.
Wow.
But that's just pretty crazy foreshadowing. And then you've got the Royal Farms thing, and almost like the Jared from Subway.
I mean, he was the good old boy in town. Right?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was clean.
Squeaky clean.
Yeah.
It's not a crime.
It's a shame.
No, it's not really a
It's not
crime, and it's
yeah.
been more than 7 years.
10 years.
2012 to 2016, I think that was his window.
That's what they said. It was like right when he came into the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, man, I don't get these guys.
Yeah.
Well,
It's like, why do that?
Yeah.
You know, if you got that kind of urge, there's other things you could do that won't
yeah.
get you
Oh
in
yeah.
trouble.
Well, somebody would be happy to come over and take care of business.
You know,
for you.
it's like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and hey man, the off season is a time when the team can't control you. You're home in your town, like say Ben Cleveland was. Boy, he's got a double whammy because he filed for divorce from his wife, alleging
She cheated.
adultery,
Right.
And then he got a DUI. That was December 29th that he filed, and then after that,
Right.
he got picked up for
Clearly
having
related.
3 beers.
Yeah.
If you're as big as he is,
Yeah.
those are some tall boys you're drinking.
3 beers, yeah. That
Well, that's
guy
what you
was-
say.
Right.
At least when you're my size,
Right.
you say 2 beers.
Right.
But when you're his size, you might say 3 beers.
Yeah.
But it's been a tough off season for a couple of players.
Yeah. I wonder how the Tucker thing's going to shake out. I don't.
Yeah, I'm not feeling good about it. I don't think he's
I
going to
don't-
be on
What
the
do
team.
what do you see happening, Dave?
I see them drafting a kicker,
Yeah.
and I think he's going to get cut.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't have a great year.
Right.
He's getting paid a lot, and it seems like we have a no tolerance policy on anything
Yeah.
sexual related.
It's not a good look for them to just like turn the other cheek and keep him.
Well, yeah, you're right. He is the GOAT, though. We'll see what happens.
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It's a shame.
It sucks for us as fans and the organization, and it's definitely. But something's got to happen. I mean, it's a
Ronnie
big
Stanley
deal.
back in the fold. Pat Ricard and
Love it.
and DeAndre Hopkins.
Love it.
Yeah,
So
big signing in Stanley. I didn't know if we were going to be able to afford him. I mean,
Yeah.
and we got him for a good deal. He gave us a hometown deal.
yeah,
He did.
You know, Kansas City was waiting at the door to get him. That would have been bad.
Yes.
Washington was offering like $24 million. I
Yeah.
think we only gave him 20.
Yeah.
You know?
3 years, 60 mil. So
Yeah.
20.
Yeah.
Orioles, we talked about them briefly a second ago, down in spring training right now. But you say the injuries are making you nervous, Dave?
They're making me nervous. You know, Rodriguez, the young pitcher, it's been hurt a lot.
Gunnar Henderson.
We
bro.
need him to
Gunners,
step
yeah.
up.
And Rodriguez is like our ace, right? I mean, he's considered our ace.
probably
We're kind of
top
lacking
guy.
that
Yeah.
number one.
Bradish is still hurt.
Right.
Yeah, but so you've got Sagano, Zach Eflin, Charlie Morton, Dean Kramer,
Right.
and then maybe Cade Povich.
Yeah.
There's your starting lineup,
Yeah,
everybody.
man. I mean, not in
why
the
you
American
making
League
faces?
East.
Come on, Mom.
Not exciting.
Yeah.
Not exciting. I'm normally the optimist with the Orioles, even when we went 18 years without going to the playoffs. I always
Right.
thought this was going to be the year. I'm not feeling really good about it.
That's
but
because they finally showed us, like, you know,
my expectations
the
are higher
standard
now.
of like
Yeah.
what they could do, and now it's like disappointing if they don't.
Well, I think the days ahead are much brighter than they were
Indeed.
5 years ago
No
or
question.
so, when you're losing 100 games every season or something like that.
Yeah.
no question.
They
We'll
can
be
shore up the
competitive.
pitching.
Yeah.
I think we're good, but
Well, you can never have enough pitching.
Right.
Yeah.
How you liking the orange on orange? It's a different
it's
look.
different. It's cool.
It's cool. I like it too. It's
Buck Showalter said, "Get pictures because you're not going to see these again." Back in 2010, he
Right.
didn't like them at all.
He didn't like 'em.
But
He's
it's a
always-
throwback to Brooks and Jim Palmer. I remember,
Yeah.
back in the 70s when they busted those out, and I was like, "Damn, that's a lot of orange, y'all."
that's a lot. On Saturday nights, I guess that's when they wear them.
right.
I think they look cool.
Yeah. The wall's coming in, Dave. You might even be able to hit a home run.
Yeah, that's a big change. I think it's it's interesting how they're going back
Well,
and
it was
forth
here,
like that.
then it was here, and now it's going to be sort of in the middle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean they're doing that to help Mountcastle. It seems like, and and not making it such a big difference for having lefty pitchers. So
Probably going to help a lot of people on other teams too.
yeah,
Dude, and they
Yeah.
just introduced a value meal. You could get like a beer for not your whole paycheck. It's like $5, Dave.
That's pretty good.
That's not
for like
bad.
a small draft, that's great.
I mean, yeah, stadium prices.
And just like the old days, you could bring your own food into the stadium.
that's
Did you ever
cool.
do that back in the day?
No.
Bring a cooler in.
No,
You save some money, make a couple ham and
The
cheese
Ravens let you
sandwiches.
do that. You just got to bring it in a clear bag, right?
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
I remember
yeah.
this guy in front
they
of
let
me.
you bring food into the.
I remember this guy in front of me used to. My dad and I had season ticket. He'd bring in like this huge Ziploc bag. It would be like donuts, a couple slices of pizza, marshmallows, like random, totally
Yeah.
just going in there, jelly beans, just like, yeah, it was so funny.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I love Ravens games. They're just so much fun.
Can you sing a national anthem?
I could sing one. I've never been asked to, but yeah, I could do it. I could do it.
There you go, Ravens.
That's a tough gig.
Oh,
that is
yeah.
a hard song.
I mean, I'm
start low.
Exactly. I'm not eager to do it, but if I was asked, I would certainly be honored to do it, but I'm certainly not soliciting that.
When you're on the road, do people make a big deal of you being from Baltimore? Or is that just part of the...
It's always funny. People have funny responses about Baltimore, like
Dude, you see the riots in
Wire.
2015.
yeah, like
The
they
Wire.
think they just have perceptions, or like there's always people, if I say I'm from Baltimore, that cheer everywhere I go. So there's always a couple of them.
Oh!
Yeah, but then someone else is like, when I say like, where are you from? Oh, Baltimore. Really? It's like I get a lot of that. Like,
Yeah.
huh, that's okay,
Dude, Baltimore's got a reputation. I remember when I was in L.A. trying out for KLOS, and it was 2015. And, you'd be standing around the airport watching CNN, and people are standing on cop cars in Baltimore. So when I got to L.A., I was like, so where are you from? Baltimore? And people look at you like you stepped in poop.
Right,
But that's just part of the allure, Dave. It's baked into the
Charm City.
That's right, man.
Well,
I love Baltimore. It's
We got a lot of Baltimore pride, despite our faults.
they played a baseball game with nobody in the park.
I know.
That was one of the strangest things I'd ever seen.
yeah. That was
A strange time.
What a weird time.
Right.
Yeah.
Before Mr. Splash was even thought of.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
hey, man, we got opening day coming up on the 27th in Toronto, and then the 31st. It's a national holiday. You'll be there, right?
Yeah, I'll go.
You haven't missed one in
Haven't
years.
missed in a long time.
What about you, Chris? You got a ticket?
I don't have one,
connection?
but maybe I'll find one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, gentlemen. All right. We'll come back with more here on the Mother's Podcast.